Drops in an iconic view in Colorado Springs, but is protecting that view something made official by the city's founders? Recent debate about proposed high-rises for downtown Colorado Springs raises the question. Our Bill FOLSOM is looking into what is true. He's live at the Pioneers Museum. Bill.
Hey Diane, this location, it is a common reference point on the topic of height restrictions and also preserving views. Pivot here on the steps of the Pioneers Museum and you can see the view of Pikes Peak. It has been preserved, but it's not because of an ordinance, it's also recent history, less than 20 years ago. Colorado Springs history is preserved in the Pioneers Museum and with a view from out front.
The whole idea of Colorado Springs was built because of the proximity of the mountains and the view that exists here.
Matt MAYBERRY, director of the museum, also learned quickly it's an idea, but not an official mandate. Shortly after starting his job in early 2000, plans to expand the courthouse got contentious because some community members felt it important to preserve the view between the historic museum building and Pikes Peak.
Specifically with a sculpture that had just gotten placed on the museum grounds at this time.
The statue is Catherine Lee Bates, gazing up at Pikes Peak, the inspiration for her writing the song America the Beautiful. Out of dispute came compromise, also a history lesson. The city's founders did love the view, but there is no official policy.
Was it written in any legal document or deed restriction or city ordinance? Not to my knowledge, but that became the belief.
The history of downtown has always been to have our highest densities and our tallest buildings.
Pikes Peak Avenue still has its view of Pikes Peak. It also has buildings lining that view. It's part of thoughtful planning. Official zoning puts building height limits outside of downtown, but not in the heart of the city.
On the edges, you're restricted to 4-story buildings. Going inward, you can go up to 6 stories, 10 stories, and then in the central part of the form-based zone, there is not a maximum building height in the zoning regulations.
And in some ways, buildings, they are considered part of our future view. In the master plan for Colorado Springs, it speaks of creating an iconic skyline here in downtown. In Colorado Springs, Bill FOLSOM, News 5.
Bill, thank you.